Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name's Kit, and this is my world. Thank you very much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the Books and Life tag, which is an original tag by Steve Donoghue. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. Question number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a normal person and 10 being the late Harold Bloom, how much are books and reading a part of your life? Well, for once in my life, I'm actually somewhere in the middle. I'm going to say 5. If I wasn't doing BookTube, it would be much lower, to be honest. Books have always been a very important and fundamental part of my life, and yet there are so many other things in my life. I have a very rich and full and varied life, believe it or not, and that life is full of arts and culture, and books are a part of that, but not the main part. Question number 2. Where does your personal library stand right now in relation to the rest of your life? Do you have more books now than you ever have? Fewer? How has your library changed? Oh, Steve. Long-winded and multiple questions. It was far too chunky and complicated. I struggled to even read it. How am I going to answer it? I'm just going to say fewer. I can't even remember what the question was now. Do I have more books or less? Well, fewer. Do I have more books or fewer books? Well, I've got fewer books. I left the majority of my library behind when I moved from my old address to my present address, and since then I've been replenishing my favourite books by adding them to my Kindle, which is now my library. I've spent the last several years filling up my Kindle with all the books that I love and enjoy reading, and also a few that I didn't enjoy reading, but they were easy to download. What you see behind me is the residue of my previous library, and nothing more than that. Question number 3. Take a mental step back and ask yourself, what is the most likely first bookish impression a newcomer would have in your home? I don't need to do any mental exercises or concentrate particularly hard to answer this question, because it's very simple. 0. There would be no bookish impression at all for anyone entering my house unless they entered through an upstairs window, because all my books are in the upstairs. The downstairs is full of cat trees. Question number 4. How often, if ever, gulp, do you clean or reorganise your books? Never. I'm supposed to clean them? Question number 5. On average, how many books do you acquire in a given week? I don't know how to work out an average when it's fewer than 1. Most weeks I don't acquire any new books at all. I do read, but I tend to reread and reread the same books over and over and over again, ad infinitum. Latin. I'm kind of special, and I have my particular books that I really love and enjoy reading, and those are all the books I need for the most part. And occasionally I will add an extra book to my collection, and then that's a big event, like when I downloaded The Body by Bill Bryson. I have now increased my Bryson collection by 1, but that was a rare event. Most weeks I don't buy any books at all. Sorry. Question number 6. What song is your current earworm? I'm all alone, he's all by myself, all by himself. There's no one here beside me. It's from Spamalot. Question number 7. What percentage of your self-control do you retain in a well-stocked bookshop? All of it. I avoid such places. In the old days, I would visit my friendly neighbourhood bookshop. At a time when there was no one else in there, I would go in, collect the book that I had pre-ordered, pay Jane behind the counter, and leave as quickly as I possibly could. Nowadays I can do it all from the comfort of my own home on my Kindle, and I don't have to deal with human beings at all, which is just the way I like it. Question number 8. Do you ever feel the need to take a break from books? If so, what form does it take? I often feel the need to take a break from books, and I don't feel any need to apologise for that either. I like many things, and I seek entertainment in many different avenues. Books are one, but also I love films, I love TV, I love theatre, and back in the good old days I used to go and see shows all the time. So books are just one small part of my artistic, creative life. I love it all. So if I need a break from a book, then I will just do something else. No excuses needed. Question number 9. When you meet a new person, how long does it take you to bring up books? I don't, mostly. If they are a bookish person who discusses books, then I will certainly discuss books with them. If I know that they're into books, I suppose there's a possibility that I might bring up a book. But for the most part, I don't really discuss books with other human beings, except in my past, but I believe there's a question coming up that will cover that. Question number 10. Have you given any thought or made any provisions for your personal library after you croak? Yes, my other half gets everything. Question number 11. Are you known among your friends and loved ones for your weird and probably unhealthy relationship with books? No, just my weird and unhealthy relationship with everything else. Books aren't a huge deal in terms of conversation or personal interactions. I tend to talk about films, TV and theatre much more. However, in the dim and distant past, I had a friend called Ian, and me and Ian did used to love talking about books. We loved the same books. He introduced me to the David Eddings books. He introduced me to Terry Goodkind. He introduced me to Robert Jordan. I introduced him to Catherine Kerr, and it was a really good bookish sort of friendship. He was also my writing partner when we made music together. So it was excellent. And we also played video games together, and we even made some of our own video games based on our favourite books. So in the olden days, I was no more bookish than I am now, but I had a bookish friend. Now I have the BookTube community, which does kind of the same thing, but without farting quite so much. And on that unpleasant note, I think I'll call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't already, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, do all the good stuff, and I will see you next time. See you later.